A good way to think about technology is to imagine what it would be like for that to exist in a kind of sinless state. Not that it ever would, not that it ever could, but it does kind of like expose a few assumptions that you might have about any given technology. And a great way to do that is to imagine how could this exist in the Garden of Eden? If we did not sin and we were still in the Garden of Eden as like a species, if we had progressed from there as opposed to not sinning, or as opposed to sinning and then being cast out of the garden, what would this technology look like? Like how could we get to this point with those assumptions? It's good mental exercise because like let's take social media, like phones, social media, like how does social media happen in the Garden of Eden? Can it happen in the Garden of Eden without pushing us towards sinful assumptions that already exist that are inherent to the platform? What I mean by this is like if you are naked and have a dominion over the beasts of the field and the birds of the air and instructions to tend to the garden, how do you end up with a device that would allow you to see pictures of all these naked people? How is that not adult media or corn? Where would the line be that like that would be seemingly more tempting than the fruit that tempted us with the knowledge of good and evil. Like you're telling me that like any of that would have worked out. Like it wouldn't have. And that's because like that's what it is. Like the having pictures of people on your phone at your demand, that is adult media. Because it exposes it once you take yourself back to a sinless point with your technology, you can see how sinful your technology actually is. And that what needs to happen for that to be able to, exist in the world. And Christ shows us this. Jesus, like God shows us this. Like the second we took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, Adam and Eve, what did they do? Well, they made technology. They made clothes. They made clothes right away because they were naked. They needed to hide from each other. They needed to hide from God. So they made clothes out of leaves. And then this is never addressed except for when they are expelled from the garden to live in their sin as opposed to being killed. What does God do? He provides for them clothes made from the skins of animals, which is widely recognized as like a proto-sacrifice, like the first sacrifice. He kills these animals whom Adam would have named. Like he knew these animals the same way he knew the serpent. Like he knew these animals by name. And God kills them as a sacrifice and then clothes them with the trappings of that sacrifice. That's huge because you can't separate that technology, the technology that God chose by making clothes, from the sacrifice. It's tied to it. There would be no point in Adam and Eve's life where they wouldn't be wearing those clothes and think this was Steve the goat that had to die so that I wasn't killed when I sinned. There's no way to do that. But like our technology always exists in that state, always exists in that state of sinfulness because it can't be extrapolated from us. It can't be like pulled away from us to where it's making itself. It always has humans' agency attached to it, which is inherently sinful, whereas God's doesn't. And simply by taking your technology, taking any technology, cars, how do cars work? Like in the Garden of Eden, like how much grass that you are commanded to like cultivate would have to get like painstakingly moved so it didn't die so that you can put pavement down for your cars. Like how do chainsaws show up? Look up chainsaws, by the way. Look up where chainsaws, the idea was developed. And that'll show you just like where like technology starts from and like that like how it progresses as an idea. So like do that sometimes. Imagine yourself in the Garden of Eden. No one sinned. Everything's perfect. How do we get to, using Claude? How do we get there without sinning? And if you can't find a through line, maybe there isn't one. And you have to reassess your relationship with technology.